Almost 3 million Americans suffer from epilepsy. That's more than muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, and Parkinson's disease combined.
Unfortunately, 1 million of these Americans have seizures that are not controlled by their medications.
Many of these are children. We are the parents of such children, children with intractable epilepsy.
Anti-epileptic drugs often cause horrible side effects.
These include death, violent rages, liver damage, reduced cognition, loss of speech, blindness, suicide, and broken bones.
The good news is a new medicine used for centuries has been rediscovered and is showing miraculous results in some children, even in these intractable cases.
Hundreds of children have been using medical cannabis for epilepsy for the past 2 years, with thousands more on waiting lists. Their before and after clinical tests are showing significant reduction in the number and duration of their seizures.
So far, medical cannabis is showing no serious side effects. In fact, most are showing cognitive improvements. As a result, many have been able to wean off their previous drugs and their side effects, and often regain their speech and mobility.
Parents are seeing improvement in a lot of cases. This is a medical breakthrough that is not available in most of the country.
Why? Because some of the medications are made from liquid extracts of the cannabis plant, which causes an immediate negative reaction for some.
We want to clarify that the medicines we are giving our children or want to give our children do not make them high. They are taken in the form of a liquid and not smoked. There are hundreds of components to the cannabis plant, and the ones proving most effective are CBD, THC, and THCA working synergistically from the entire plant.
We also want to be very clear. We are not supporting legalization of cannabis for recreational use. What we support is expanded responsible access for legitimate medical use.
This expanded access and research is being blocked because cannabis is a Schedule I drug. It's in the same class as heroin, and in a higher class than cocaine, OxyContin, and meth.
Schedule I means no accepted medicinal value. The American public disagrees. 75% favor legalization of medical cannabis.
The U.S. government even holds a patent for one of the forms of medical cannabis used to treat epilepsy.
And yet the federal government still says this has no medicinal value. This is crazy.
This is not a political issue. This is a public health issue.
We are Parents Coalition to Reschedule Medical Cannabis. We are Republicans and Democrats from all walks of life and all across the nation.
Please ask the administration and your federal and state legislators to support medical cannabis legalization and rescheduling efforts to allow responsible, expanded access and research.
You have the power to make a difference.
Help us stop the seizures.
My daughter Madeline has Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. She has a 90% reduction in seizures since starting cannabis oil. She sleeps better and is learning and developing for the first time since she was 2 years old. So for the first time in 6 years.
This is Millie. She is 2.5 and she has been diagnosed with Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. And so far we have been on medical cannabis for about 10 months. We have seen about an 85 to 90% reduction in seizures, in addition to an immersion of cognition, sitting up, holding her head up, being able to suck and swallow. It's been really miraculous.
This is Adeline, and Adeline was diagnosed with infantile spasms, which is a catastrophic form of childhood epilepsy. Before we started medical cannabis, Adeline was very heavily medicated on many pharmaceutical drugs, to the point where her muscles had atrophied because she was not using them. We could feel the bones in her legs, and she was having a really difficult time just doing anything. She was sleeping upwards of 22 hours a day. We were really carrying her body through life with us. Since starting medical cannabis about 10 months ago, Addie now smiles and laughs every day. She interacts with her family members. She gives hugs. She's rolling over and sitting up and behaving much more like a typical 2-year-old. And we're very thankful.
This is my daughter Mallory. Mallory has intractable epilepsy. She's failed about a dozen medications. Since starting medical cannabis, She has restarted school and has a 90% decrease in her seizure frequency.